Hello everyone, Daniel Kerr here. Now, this video here is going to be all about vocal processing. What happened was I did this just a little while ago. I did this Depeche Mode remix, and you can hear it by going to soundcloud.com/SnowMetal, or you can look in the link that is in the description for this video. Regardless, I started with an a cappella of Dave Gahan from Depeche Mode. It's a studio a cappella of him singing "Enjoy the Silence," and in the end, it sounds like a woman singing, and it's in a slower tempo. And I put some inflections and different things. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I got this. So right now, down here, I have Ableton Live. And yeah, here's my voice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this sample. Oh, sorry about those glitchy sounds. This screencasting software causes my microphone to glitch out, and I'm not really sure why. Over here we have Depeche Mode, "Enjoy the Silence." So if I double click this, and I can close that. Um, Here is the acapella, and here is what it sounds like. Oops.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world.
Okay, so you can hear that's how it works. The first thing that I did was I had to determine the tempo. Sorry. So what I do is I have, when you go over here and you have your key, you decide which functions are going to be set to different keys on your keyboard. You can see that here I have the tempo, or the click track, the metronome to key number 1, and over here you can see that I have the tap tempo to number 5. So what I do is I tap my number 5 key on my keyboard while listening to determine the tempo.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing.
Now up here it says 117. We'll listen to that and see how that fits.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little.
Okay, it's a little quick, but what we want to do, pull it down to 116.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world.
Maybe 115.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world, painful to me.
Try 114.
Words like violence break the silence.
I think that's good. So then I warp the track. And down here, see, I already knew. I'm going to go ahead and add a warp marker at the end. But I already knew that the track I was going to be working in was 75 BPMs. So from here, I slowed this down to 75. And then I listen again.
Words like violence.
Now that sounds crappy because it is set to beats here, okay? This is not a drum beat, so these transients, if they're played at 75 BPMs, doesn't really sound very good. So I changed from beats to complex pro. Now listen.
Words like violence break the silence.
Surprisingly good for such a drastic tempo change, right? So then the next thing that I do is I listen to the pitch. What I do is I add an operator to MIDI track number 1.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world, painful to me, pierce right through me, can't you understand?
Oh, you couldn't hear me talking. Oops. Oh, wrong one. Ah, that's so much better. Okay, I think that we're talking about B here. Let me go ahead and hold shift or control while setting okay, now I can play and listen. Yeah, I think the whole thing is in B minor. Okay? Now, the track that I want to play in is in F sharp minor. So what I want to do is I want to take this sucker here and I want to transpose it 7 semitones. Now listen.
Words like violence break the silence.
Okay, sounds kind of strange. Now, the next thing that I wanted to do is add a compressor. And the reason why is because this is a dry vocal and I think that it's best running through a bit of compression. So what I'm going to use, I think, oh, that's instruments. How about the DIM 65, which is my favorite compressor currently. It's also free, and you can get one of these. Okay. Okay, listen.
Words like violence break the silence. Come crashing into my little world. Painful to me, pierce right through me.
Okay, leveled out the levels a little bit and brought the overall gain up. So the next thing that I want to do is I added something called Caro V. Now, Caro V is basically a freeware version of like Antares Auto Tune and whatnot. So I know that this is going to be an F sharp minor, and I used a now listen.
Words like violence break the silence.
Okay. When you want it to be a little bit more natural, you can turn the speed at which it corrects itself down, and you can turn the nuance down to natural. Now listen.
Words like violence break the silence.
Now obviously you can still hear it, but it doesn't have that warbly warble that everybody associates with auto-tune. Now there's a preset on here, male to female. Now listen.
Words like violence break the silence.
Now I can add a little bit of the dry signal in as well.
Words like violence break the silence. Come crashing in.
Okay, I didn't actually use the bypass signal. I was just showing you, but I didn't actually use that for the track itself. But what I did do is I added a healthy amount of reverb and a bit of echo on there too. Now listen.
Words like violence break the silence. Come crashing into my little world. Painful to me, pierce right through me. Can't you understand? Oh, my little girl, all I ever wanted.
So, in short, I went from this.
Words like violence break the silence. Come can't you fall to me.
Went from this.
Words like violence break the silence.
To this.
Words like violence.
And here's what the actual track sounds like.